I found like the transitioning, like it actually hit me probably most like going into the next thing I did. Because you don't really know, you always have the off season, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't that weird. It's when like the next season started and all of a sudden I'm in Zwolle in the Netherlands
Yeah.
and my coach is speaking Dutch, and it's just like a totally different experience. And there's like school kids running around practice. I'm like, what the heck? Like you're not in Michigan anymore. And it just
No.
kind of like that was the part like, whoa, it hits you fast. And again, I think it's hard to really like appreciate that um until you like go through it. So it's like hard for people that just watch and really grasp it.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny you said that the things that we didn't have to like report anymore senior year, and I remember enjoying St. Patrick's Day for the first time ever. Like actually enjoying it on campus. We're like, I can go be seen drinking now on campus. Like, who
If I
cares?
did that today, I'd be hungover for 2 weeks.
Oh, done. We would have been dead.
Yeah.
But I want to go to the. I want to ask you, like, was the kids the first time? Because seeing the kids in Zwolle, like for me, it was when I got to Pamplona, Spain, and they told me that you know the Wi-Fi wasn't going to be for another day or two, and I had no phone, and I'm sitting there by myself, and I'm like, I have to read a book like it's 1920 or something by candlelight, like
Yeah.
what am I doing? Why am I here? And it was everything that I had dreamed of doing, maybe not playing in Pamplona, but like
Yeah.
playing basketball for money, is a dream you have as a kid. And then you get there and you're like, wait, what the hell? Like, did you have one of those moments in the beginning, first couple of weeks?
Well, I think we approached it very different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I think you were like you knew it was a career and you wanted to do it. With me, I was like 1 to 3 years and I'm out. And then
Yeah.
like 4 months in, I was like, oh yeah, more like one, I'm out. And so I kind of took like when I first got there, yeah, it was really weird. I had an interesting living situation where I lived above a grocery store and basically what was almost like a shared house with like seven other guys. So I lived with two, like the school that sponsored us was between our like junior year of high school to sophomore year of college. So I lived with two guys who were like 17. I lived with our point guard, one of the point guards, a Dutch guy, who's still playing. He's on the national team over there. So like was a good guy. Played with Tanner Smith, who we played at Clemson.
Yep.
And then there was another guy on our team who's D2 National Player of the Year,
Josh.
Josh Majette,
Yeah.
who ends up going to like play in the NBA, which is like totally talk about underdog stories of
Yeah.
underdog stories, like awesome, but like insane. And I just remember, and I lived with one other guy from the volleyball team in town. His name was Timon, but I thought his name was Diamond. And I'm like, people here named Diamond. What the heck? And he was an interesting guy, a little bit more quiet, but for me, like it ended up being pretty cool because once I pretty much stopped taking the basketball seriously pretty quick and was just like, I'm just gonna live like a 22-year-old in Holland that doesn't have anything to do but work for an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
Like, it was just one of the most fun years I ever had. I mean, I was going out with my buddies, we were having beers, it's going out in the town, school town. And it was good. And I think as it gets further out, I probably appreciate it more than I did when I was actually in it.
Yeah. I remember you like trying to like keep up because at the time I don't think I could even watch your games. I remember just like watching your stats and the box scores. And then you sent me a video of you doing a windmill off 2 feet. And I was like, this dude is playing free as hell. Like, there's not a care in the world, and he's just killing it. Which is funny because I knew you were capable of doing all of these things, right? Like, you did it in high school. You could have done it more in college. But it's just fun. I mean, I think at the same mentality was like, all right, let's get back to high school me and let's just play a
Yeah,
little more free. And that was fun. That was a relief.
for sure. And also, like, it's amazing how much better your legs feel when you don't play defense.
For 40 minutes straight. There's no,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, whatever. I'm
What's
not.
a stance? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was no one of the coolest things over there. Mentioning my legs feeling better. Do you remember there was a guy who's like one of the early YouTube sensations. I was a white dude from Canada, and he won this dunk contest. What was his name? He was on Best Damn Sports Show, period. If I showed you the video, you'd know it 100%. I can't believe I don't remember his name. So anyway, we're getting ready for this game. And like this guy who was like the early YouTube dunker.
Skinny guy, right? Small?
He was like, he wasn't huge, but yeah, he was like white dude that just was from Canada. Henry
Okay.
Beck. That was Henry Beckering.
Okay.
Go look up his YouTube video after this. Like the dude could get up. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm playing him. And we get in the game. I grab a board off a free throw, take it coast to coast, and I'm like, I'm going up. And so like, there's this awesome picture of like, I'm just dunking on him and he's like hands in, trying not to get hit. And I was like, yeah, I'm done this year. That's all I needed to do.
Yeah.
I'm retired. Oh, Michigan's in the Final Four. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a million times, but like for this podcast, I need like a quick rundown. Give me like a minute rundown of this story, because to me, it is my favorite story. Like I will lay out my point of view. Okay. Like you just said, we had different mindsets going into everything, but I'm going overseas. Like I missed my sister's wedding because I'm overseas and doing this thing. And like, I can't, it was in August. I get over there, I'm trying to take everything seriously. I'm getting paid for this. Like I'm taking it all seriously. And then March comes around, Michigan's in the Final Four, and you hit me up and you're like, yeah, I'm going to the game.
Yeah. So the way that it went, I mean, at this point, my coach and I did not see eye to eye at all. And it was like, it was a good experience for me, but unique. And part of it was me like trying to get rid of, used to not being at Michigan. It was partially on me too. It wasn't sad. But like we just butted heads.
Mm-hmm.
And I was over it. Like I said, I knew I was gone. So when Michigan made it, I was like, there's no way. And I probably had a few beers and booked the flight, impulsively. And then had to go tell my coach the next day, and they win the game, they're going to the Final Four. I buy the ticket, it's bought, I'm going. And I walk in his office, I was like, all right, here's the deal. And he's like, what? And it's him and the GM. And I said, look, Michigan's in the Final Four. Like, yeah, that's really cool. And I was like, you have two options. Either you're cool with me going to the game and I will fly back, or you're not, and you can keep the rest of my money and I'm out of here. and I like, they didn't know what to do. I mean, they're just shell shocked. They're like, I cannot believe this is like, he's actually making this request. And I'm just like, look, it is what it is. I'm not missing this. And they said, here's what we're going to do. You're going to tell everybody that you're sick. We're going to tell the league that you're sick. Go there. Do not do any TV interviews. And I'm like, yeah, sure, it's cool. So they let me go because they're like, they need me to come back, right? I'm like leading the team in scoring, first team all. They're not going to like tell me not to come back. So I go down there. We're in the Final Four hotel or whatever, and I forget who I walked by. It might have been Jim Jackson. Walking by, and they got the studio set up. And he's like, hey, can we get an interview? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So I do this interview, and whatever. The game ends, whatever, and I end up flying back for the first practice. And the GM, we're warming up. We're doing like the first personal jog, and this guy's big. Like he's this interesting. He looked like a cartoon character, right? Big bald guy. Zack. I'm like, oh, I'm caught. I'm caught. We specifically told you, we told the league you were sick, and then you show up on TV in America. And I was like, I got nothing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And it was fine. It was fine. We ended up the year we got swept in the playoffs, and that was it.
Yeah, I think I remember you're like, I don't care. Like playoffs is done. Like who cares?
Well, actually, it worked perfectly because it was King's Day. So that in the Netherlands they have this thing called Queen's Day or King's Day. It's just like basically our 4th of July, right? Go celebrate the the Queen. And the Queen was abdicating the throne to a new king that year. So it was an extra big party. I mean, it was literally the entire city of Amsterdam was like shoulder to shoulder.
Damn.
Party. And it was, I mean, I was like, well, I got to hit this. So I delayed my flight home and hit that, and it was awesome. Great time. One of those like once in a lifetime type deals, and I was glad we got swept.